What up, peeps? I think I just stole that somewhere. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Project Ozone Lite, where things have happened once more. We have a reactor building. Let's have a quick look into that. Switch the HUD back on. So this is our lovely big reactor. It's still the same. I just moved it over here. It didn't really had any business being over there. So it now has its own building. And at some stage it will fill up this whole building and probably even go deeper. And just because we can, we use triple compressed cobblestone for the walls and some chiseled glass for the sides. I think that looks quite nice. And we will need to have some room in here to move around, so probably a 1 or 2 wide walkway. Depends on how... Ooh, what was that? That's flashing weird. What the hell? I don't know. Depends on how we set up this reactor. I tried to put the energy outlet, the reactor redstone flux power tap legacy, into the bottom, and that didn't form the structure. So you can right click on any of these blocks as long as the structure isn't formed to tell you what's wrong, and it clearly said the bottom can only be reactor casings, nothing else. So we put it in the back. The sag mill is here, the alloy smelter is here, and it's currently switched off? Yeah, it's switched off. We don't need it because it's the only thing drawing power would be the sag mill and the alloy smelter, and we're currently not using it for anything. I did use it though, for a number of little things. Also, we have a new landing platform. Scott made this. Oh, look at that. That's a thing of art here. That's beauty. And he's building out there. He said we were hanging out too much. He wants to get away for a weekend trip or something, so he moved over there.
Yeah,
yep.
You get a little annoying sometimes. It happens.
Thanks. Screw you too. And you did something very nice. You moved all the cows into their own separate little storage bin area place deal.
Yeah, it was getting a little...
Yeah.
It was getting hard to keep track if we got any new ones in, so I figured...
We have a tree oil cow. What the heck is a tree oil cow? Alright. Firewall, yeah. Most of these we know. Some are new. Molten glass is definitely a thing. Some of these we already had in storage in one of those safari nets we got from the mob farm. We put them here now as well. Hi, there you are. Hello.
Hello.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, never talk to you again. Witch water, that will come in handy. You found that one, I like that. And one is missing over here. That's the seared stone one. I moved that over to our smeltery to have easy access. Or at least you didn't close the door on me. That's nice. That's a drift race here. That's the fast and the Minecrafting or something. So seared stone is over here for a very good reason, so we can fill up the smeltery, which has been auto ingot casting, and I prepared some stuff. So we have a crap ton of ingots, and we also have some tanks, drains, basins, and controllers over here. We are going to set up smelteries, and we want to get the prototype going for that, which is 1 smeltery per ore type. And obviously we also want to tie in our cows into the system, auto-feeding into the smeltery, so we will have ores from the sifting for now, probably later through quarrying the nether and stuff like that as well, which needs some pre-processing, because you need to put the nether ore in the furnace to turn it into real ore, and then you can smelt that. Which, yeah, it's a cool idea. So that's something we're going to do. We're going to expand on that. So we want to get 1 prototype going, like 1 template of how to set this up for 1 specific ore type. And once we have that, we're probably going to expand on that off-cam or during a stream or something like that. Then we also want to get the auto-sifting going, because it doesn't make much sense to have an auto-smeltery set up if only the cow is really automated. Which, we need to automate that as well. We need to get the fluid from the cow into the smeltery without us having to do anything. And we also need to do that with the sifting. So let's go over to the storage area where we have some things prepared. And then we can try some stuff already. Now that we have gone to the nether, we get this stuff over here, which is the resonating redstone crystal. You can obviously craft that with redstone alloy, which we can now make in the alloy smelter, redstone and silicon. For silicon, you need the sag mill, you just need sand. put that through the segment and you get silicon. Yeah, that's one way to do it. Or you can just find these by mining actual redstone ore. And we have 5 in there, and I used 5 already and made the mechanical user. Now, the mechanical user is a lever, a dropper, and a resonating redstone crystal. And without any upgrades in here, they don't need any power as far as I know. So we're going to try these out. What does a mechanical user do? Let's snap one here. And right-click on it. Now you can see there's an interface in there. There's an inventory. Then there is a setting for always on, redstone off, redstone pulse. You can put speed upgrades in there. Those need a GP, which is wireless grid power. We haven't gotten into GP yet. The angel ring that we want to have at some stage also needs GP, so we really need to get into that fairly soon. And then you can tell this to do a click. It can be either right click or left click. You can put an item in here and it will use that for the click. So if I put my pickaxe in here, for example, and do right click, it will basically mine the block we place in front of it. And you can say use a random slot or use the upper left slot only. That doesn't really matter. I mean, if only one item is in there, it doesn't matter at all. And it can be a generic click place block command, so that will actually place the block in the world. So we could put, I don't know, sand in there and it would just put the sand down. And then we can use another of these mechanical users to use a hammer on the sand and make dust. That is the thing. Use item on block. Activate block with item. Use item entity. There's a lot of settings in here. And we're going to try out the one that we need. Oh, try out until we find one that we need. The rest we'll come back to a little bit later. So let's try that for now. And see if we can get sifting going. Come back over here. I'm so happy that we have this concrete, otherwise you need to have a cut from just walking from the storage to over here. Meet you in 5 minutes. So, we're gonna just erase one of these. And now, how do I put you? This way? No, that's pointing upwards. Do I need to get further away? Probably.
Yeah. Do you have your
there
wrench?
You go. Do I have my what?
Your wrench.
I don't think that works.
Oh, okay.
Or it depends on the actual wrench. I mean, yeah, I do have one, which is this one. Shift right click does nothing, right click does nothing.
Okay.
And left click, well, it breaks the block eventually. There's more wrenches. There's a Yetta wrench, which we will need relatively soon for Ender IO for all the conduits. And yeah, there's more. This one is from, the mechanical user is from Extra Utilities, so it might as well have a look, right? At Extra. There's a fire axe.
Cool.
It's just 11 attack damage. It actually looks cool. The angel rings are from Extra Utilities. There's all kinds of moving parts. The wrench we have is also from Extra... Oh, the wrench I have is from Extra Utilities, so that doesn't really help. If that one doesn't work, then nothing will. So, no, we have to just do it right the first time. Alright, so it's placed there. Now we want this to use... something, let's say... stack of dust. Let's put that in there. Boop. So it currently does a generic right-click. It's always on, so it's doing it already, and it's using a random slot. So any of the slots up here, there's only one that actually has something in there, so it will only use that one. And as you can see, nothing is happening. So generic click isn't it. Place block. Can't place a block, there's a sieve in front of it, so that doesn't work. Use block on use item on block. Use block on item is good. No. Activate block with item. Now here you go.
Yep. That's it.
Fairly slow, but hey, it's automated. So we can either put in speed upgrades and need grid power to power those speed upgrades, or we just put more sieves. I think for now, if anything, we just put more sieves. But this is the first step in automation. This actually does work now, which is great. Now you see items are flying everywhere. I'm collecting all the things. Here, want some bone meal? Can I bone meal you? No, I cannot. Alright, let's switch that off for now. Let's say redstone pulse or whatever, so it switches off. We need to collect this stuff, right? I mean, we can't just stand here and wait for things to do things. And since they are not in an inventory but actually pop out into the world, first thing we need to do is probably build a fence around it or some slabs so it doesn't get shot over into the void. That is easy to do once we actually find a spot for these things to go. I mean, this is just our crafting and testing area here, so this will move somewhere. So, putting a barrier around it, yeah, no problem, we can do that. We can probably move the mechanical user below one of these sieves, or we can just do a completely different setup. I would like to find out if we can place a sieve like over here, like right there, and if the user would still access that one. I think they are tied together by the mesh that's in there, and they don't have to be connecting. So that's one of the things we're going to try out in a moment. For now we need to collect things. So there is an item that does that quite nicely. Now in newer versions of this pack that item is disabled. That's one of the reasons why we haven't upgraded yet. We need things. Let's see. That thing is called an item collector. That makes sense. Needs an ender pearl, a hopper, and 3 obsidian. And then we want to upgrade that into the advanced item collector just because we can. That's just, you know, the item collector, glowstone dust, and a redstone torch. So, hopper. And there we go. Advanced item collector. Now we do grab a chest. Yeah, there's some in there. And let's go back. Hello, Enderman. Lovely people everywhere. Let's plunk the chest down here. And then all we need to do is take this and slap it, for example, on top. Now this we can access via right click. There is a menu here, and you can say this has a radius of 10 by 10 by 10 if you want to. You can also put in a filter, I believe. Now let's look at this. Y radius, well, it's on the same... No, it's 1 block higher than the orb shooting out. So we can basically go down here and say, you go Y2. So it should be 2 below, 2 above. That's probably fine. And we probably need to go not that crazy here. We just leave it at default settings for X and Z, which is 5. Because that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And if it flies into the corner over here, that would be 5. Nice. So switch that back on. Step away since we have a magnet. Something's happening. Is stuff happening? I can't see. And there you go. And it vanished. And it should have vanished in here. And yes, it did. Perfect. Let's put the rest in there. Fluid conduits, item conduits, and filters. Pretty easy to make. Filters is just hopper and paper. That's where all the hoppers went, by the way. Pressurized fluid conduits is a little more. You need fused quartz, which is basically just quartz in an alloy smelter. That's that. There's nothing else to it. Really nice. And what else was there? Yeah, conduit binders. Like everything needs conduit binders here. And item conduits, we made those before. And I also got some from a friend on the server, which is really nice. Pulsating iron nuggets, which comes from pulsating iron. And that is iron ingot and a pearl, which we get from the mob farm, no problem. And all the endermen running around here. So that's the basic setup that we need here. Now, what do we need the fluid conduits for? We do have the cows, and cows come with fluid, right? That's just their thing. So what we want to do, if possible, is take one of these mechanical users to milk the cow. So we need to put a bucket in that user, obviously, because that's what you would have to use on the cow. And then we want to transfer that bucket into another mechanical user, which right-clicks on a stone drum. And I'm making some here. You just quickly saw the recipe there. If you didn't catch it, stop and rewind. Alright, you know what? Grab some fences, which I know we had over here somewhere. So we can fence in one of the cows. Now we did make a new platform, both upper and lower level. It doesn't have an end yet, because we have to actually figure out how many smelteries we need, for which we need to know how big these are going to be. So first thing we want, definitely, is make sure that we have room for our cows. So let's say this will be where the cow is. 3 wide, well, technically 3 deep with... Can I walk through here? Yeah, I guess the cow will be able to walk through here as well, huh? That might be an issue.
No, the cow can't.
Cow can? Alright, well, we'll test it out. Otherwise we just, you know, we just remove the walls and just put more fences. Or we just use walls instead of fences. That also works. And obviously we can move this over by 1 because we don't need this side. But we want to see how big this thing is. without any subtractions here, so that's what we're going to start with. Now, milking that cow, we can probably just put the mechanical user down here. Yeah, that works. And then we put a bucket in there. There you go. I can put that here. Whenever you put something in there, just by shift clicking, it puts it in the upper left slot, so you can say upper left slot only, and everything will be fine. Now this thing will right click the cow every so often, and whenever the cow is actually ready to give fluid, the bucket will fill up and then sit in here. So what we're going to do from downstairs is we attach a conduit and take that out. And we're going to go downstairs soon using this elevator. Now then, we want to put that into the actual smeltery. So we're gonna put the smeltery down here probably. There. And we put a smeltery drain right on top of it. I don't know if that accepts fluids from the bottom. We will have to figure that out.
Shouldn't it have been a tank?
Nope. That's going directly into the drain, into the smeltery.
Okay.
So that's gonna work. We need a smeltery controller, which will accept the ores once you put them in there. So we probably want to have that over here, so we can hide all the wiring in the back. Which also means we want this guy over there, the tank. Now we need more space actually, because we need to go one off to the side. Right, we need to have... no, not you. No. Who wants you? This guy. We need to have this there, and we technically need to have that there. And we still need to be able to pour out the finished materials, so we do need to have a drain over here, which would probably be... well, we can do this and put the basin in the floor. I actually like that idea. Just do that. That looks quite cool. And then obviously there's no height limit. We can, well, there's a height limit from the smeltery itself, but not from our limitations. I mean, we're at Y100, so we have 150 blocks to go until we reach the build limit. This thing can be, honestly, I can't remember, 8, 11, 12, high. We're never gonna make it that high. So that would technically be the finished thing. It would be 5 wide. That is a little bit too wide. And there's also only one thing over here. Now obviously we can make ingots, or we could just put in more basins. I don't think we need that. Maybe 2, but definitely not more. That works for me. So we can have 2 of them working at the same time, just from one drain. I wish you could turn this thing. And nothing's happening. It's not working. No, that needs to happen is back to the actual smeltery. Yeah, the issue with this is now we need to have it one wider because we need to have a conduit going right here. That defeats the purpose. So
what if you put that over on this side, ran the cable up through the floor right here?
Yeah, then we'll stick out in the front. That would also work. And then we can put the drain one higher and just have these basins not in the floor. Like 1 block higher, the whole thing on this side. So basin would be there and there. And the drain would be here. And the controller would be right here. Did I just mind something that I shouldn't know? That's okay. Right there. And then obviously conduit coming in through here somewhere. I don't like that either.
But it didn't turn on.
No, it didn't turn on because we have 2 controllers currently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can do it over here. There. And then run the cable through there.
I thought the cable could attach to the side also. It doesn't have to go straight in the front.
Well, it needs to go into the front of the controller.
Oh, okay.
That's the only thing that actually needs to do that. The drains are fine. You can attach to all three sides of the drain, but the controller needs to go into the front. So that is a bit of a thing. No, I'm using the wrong block again. Look at that. I'm so good at what I do. Destroying all the things.
Yep.
Then we need to do something like this. Still didn't turn on. Something's wrong.
It's on.
Oh, it's on over here, but it's not on over here.
Yep.
Great. Yeah, this obviously doesn't need to be a controller. This needs to be something like that. It's on? Yeah, that works. That's a pretty compact setup. So let's go for that for now. And now it all depends on how the ore gets moved into that controller. I mean, we can have a compacting drawer like right there. And basically get the chunks, the pieces into that that compacting drawer, and then take out the chunks right here. That would be a thing, and we could also have a cable from the other side delivering regular ore and stuff that goes in there. Alright, let's redesign that, let's refine that, let's get the cow moved over, and let's give that a test run. He's doing that again. Leave me alone! You just broke something.
I can't prove it.
I can, I have it on cam. Yeah, there you go.
No.
Here. In your face. There. Eat my knuckles. What are you hitting me with even? Hey, don't spit on my shoes. Oh, all the hearts. Nice. Right, let's get back to business, shall we? I mean, it's a thing we do, right? Once in a while?
Yeah, every once in a while.
You, not so much. Can I push you off now? Alright, so we're done. This is the setup for two. They are mirrored, as you can see. The tanks are on opposite sides here. And there's a reason for that, as you can also see, and we're going to get into that. So, let's get started. What do we have? We have a cow over here in the little box. We have everything set up to milk it. I'm going to show you downstairs in a second. We still need to make sure that this is actually doing what it's supposed to do. Right click, upper left slot only. It's probably not a generic click. Not place block. Use item on block, no. Activate block with item. Entity. Entity works, it seems. Let's try that for the other cow as well. Let's see if that actually is a thing. Can you please? There. Let me. Oops. Don't do that too often. There you go.
No.
Before we do that, I do need that bucket I have on me. Let's go downstairs first. There you go. We have our lava set up over here. We just came over with the superheating element and the crucible. Obviously, you know, it's cheap to make, so we'll probably make another one at some stage. Tier 2 cobblestone generator, for now that's fine. There is a fluid conduit up here, going all the way up there, filling those tanks. And we can just go off from this tank, all the way over here, into the other smelteries, no problem at all. These conduits can all occupy the same space, which is really, really nice. So we can double up, we can have the item conduit go along this route of the fluid conduit if we want to. That helps a lot. Then, up there is the mechanical user, and then we have a conduit attaching it to another mechanical user, which will use the full bucket on the drum, and there's a pipe up there, a pressurized conduit, that will just pour that into the smeltery drain, if it works. So we're now going to need to test that. We also want to make sure we only pull out a full bucket, otherwise it doesn't make sense, because if we pull out an empty bucket and right-click that on the drum, we pull out the fluid off the drum, right? So, what we're going to do here, so we're going to right-click on the end of the conduit, on the plate, and now we can set some modes here. And what we're going to do is we're going to do in and out, because we want to put the empty bucket in and the full out. So on insert, we don't do anything. On extract, we're going to put in the filter and say empty bucket is what we don't want to pull out, so we blacklist that. Then we set it to always active, so it actually runs without us doing anything. And on the other side, we're going to do the same and put in the filter. Yeah, on extract, we're going to switch this to in-out. On insert, just put it in there. On extract, always active. We're gonna whitelist the empty bucket because we only want to pull out the empty buckets. So exactly the same setup, the only difference is whitelist and blacklist. Makes it really easy. Now I'm gonna do the same over there. Which already has something in there, so we're gonna start down here. Say in out, extract, filter please, always active, empty bucket, whitelist. And on that one, in out, on extract, put in a filter, on blacklist, empty bucket. Right, so that should always active. I heard it. There's the empty bucket, so it pulled out the full one. Right-clicked it where it doesn't belong. I need to go away here because that hurts. Why did that not work on the drum? That's a good question, which we're going to answer in a second here once we got that fixed.
Whoa!
Alright, and we're back. So, as you can see from the color of the drum, it's now working. What we did forget to do, and I say we here because it's obviously completely Scott's fault.
Oh yeah, right, sure.
Yeah. What we did forget to do is switch this to activate block with item. A generic click just placed it right here in front of the drum, and that's why we got that mess. And now that it's set the right way. So this one up here is set to entity because it's using the bucket on the cow, which is an entity. And this one down here is activate block with item, which will take the full bucket and activate that block in front of it, which is the drum with the full bucket. And from the red stripe here and from the yellow here, you can see it's actually working. It is probably empty because as soon as that gets put in there, it goes through the conduit upstairs and gets put into where? On the backside, obviously. Into this smeltery drain. Now, if we look into the controller of the smeltery, right here, it's in there, fluid yellorium and molten iron. Very nice. Couple of cosmetic things we need to do here so that everything works. We have fluid pipes on these drains in the front here as well, going into the casting basins. So what we need to do, first of all, detach this one over here. Yep, disable please, so we don't interfere with the lava tank. That's good. Are there any others we need to detach? I think everything else is looking good over here. And then we need to tell this, this side is extract, always active. And this one out here, technically we don't need to change, but this is only insert. And there you go, that's going. And this one is extract, always active. And this one is insert. And if there was any more iron in there that could come out, it would probably do it, but I guess, yeah, that's empty. And even this one doesn't seem to be full yet. It's not hardening, or is it? Is it? Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, it is.
Same over here. Extract, always active. That looks radioactive. That started glowing in there. Extract, always active, and insert. And there is a so-called Conduit Probe. Let's look in the inventory really quick to find that. Conduit Probe, this one, which you can make. It's not that difficult. We actually got one from the loot drops, and you can use this in probe mode. Right-click on the conduit to display details about the network. In copy-paste mode, shift-right-click to copy a conduit. And then right-click to paste them. So we could go in here and set one of these whenever we have all the smelteries set up. And then just run through all the smelteries, and wherever we have one of these that should be extract only, always active, we just right-click it and it will paste the settings. That saves time. Right, we almost got 2 yellorium blocks over here. We got 1 iron currently. Nothing more in there. We wasted a little bit of iron with the disaster downstairs. And we haven't hooked up any ores yet, it's just the cows. But it's a start, we're getting free stuff, and it's already working. Now we need to go downstairs and make sure we're actually extracting stuff. That's what we got this item conduit system for. Pretty easy to do, right? I mean, I just picked up the iron block from down here, that's also good. Can I put that back in? No, I'm gonna put it in here. That's where it goes. So we'll click on this and say extract, always active. Click on this, extract, always active. So all we need to do, it's already on extract mode, so just switch it to active. There you go. And it should do things. You can also set channels. This is on the green, it says here. So it will take out on green. The arrow over there shows that as well. And here, we want to insert on green. So everything we get from all of these smelteries should now go in here. And there you go. 1 block of iron, 1 block of yellorium. And now it's just copy-paste the whole thing. And what we're going to do eventually then, that's what this conduit is for. As I said, this is going to be our main electricity and item conduit thing. That's why we built this whole cellar. We're going to go and say you will also... Please, thank you. You will be insert and output, insert on green, and extract we will do, let's say, on brown, so it doesn't confuse that with all the other green conduits we have here. And we're going to run this conduit all the way over to the storage as soon as we get that bottom platform built, to the storage controller, which is somewhere all the way over there. And that conduit will attach, and we will set that to insert on brown. And that means we have a buffer chest here that will hold all the items. It will auto-extract, but we still need to set, because it's not active yet, and then put that into storage over there. And that should be all done. All we need to do now is somehow hook up our sifting system to some sort of sorting mechanism and make sure that we only get the items in these smelteries that we want. So this will be yellorium chunks, and this will be iron chunks. What we can do, I'm just going to show that real quick here. We can put the item conduits right here, and they will just double up as I said, and then there we go up here, and we have them attached to both controllers. And these we could set either with filters, or we could set them to different colors and say, okay, this is brown, brown goes in here, red goes in here. What we're probably going to do though, is we're going to run this over there, all the way back here, and have our compacting drawers over here for the different materials that go into these smelteries, and then take them back out and put them up there. And for that, I think we will need the filters anyway. And they're easy to make, so no problem. Just a couple of hoppers. Right. Now it's raining. Perfect. So, let's end that here. I think we've done pretty great. We have an automatic smeltery setup that we never have to touch. The lava we get for free via cobblestone generator crucible setup. The fluid we get for free from the cows as soon as we get them all moved. It casts blocks, which is the easiest way of doing this because, you know, 1 block or 9 ingots, what would you rather transport? 1 block is less items, so it's easier to transport. And the compacting drawers in our storage system will break that down into items and into ingots and nuggets if we really need that in that form, so no problem. And it looks good. And we can just have a whole bunch of them. So I think we're good. What do you think?
I think it's fantastic.
Awesome. I appreciate all your cooperation and especially the co-moderating in this episode. It was great.
You're welcome.
Ah, gorgeous. So we're going to get set up for the next one then. Yeah. That's it for today, folks. If you like the video, subscribe for more, leave a comment if you feel like it. Don't forget to enjoy yourselves. Get an umbrella. It's raining. All the hearts. See you soon.
Bye-bye.